The sport of combat has become mainstream. This is not just boxing, and now it's not just MMA. We're seeing the sport of Muay Thai, where the best strikers on the planet exist is Muay Thai, in my opinion. And I'm blessed to have Anthony Ford on the show today. Thank you for joining me. I'm Dan Cox, and we're here with Anthony Ford, Muay Thai fighter, kickboxer, man, so many other accolades I could attach to it. But Anthony, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing pretty good. Doing pretty good.
Now, well, you're in Calgary.
Yep.
So you're kind of used to the cold. I'm in Detroit. It's cold where I'm at, and I'm wishing it was warm. What's the weather where you're at right now?
Well, there's about, what, a foot and a half of snow outside right now? Foot and a half of snow right now. It's actually not too cold, so when it's actually snowing, it's not too bad. But we can get to like minus 40, minus 43 here pretty regularly.
Yeah, see, I grew up, I played hockey. I spent a lot of time in Canada, so I'm familiar with it. It just never seemed to be so bad, except when I was playing in an outdoor rink in some place like Drummondville or something, and yeah, it was chilly then. It was brutal. Now, you're training out of a gym, Glory Combat, excuse me. Can you tell me a little bit about the gym? Because I've heard some great things about the gym and what's happened over the last year.
So Glory Combat Sports Canada it's a fairly new gym. We've actually only been open for a few months. Basically, it was started by a few local professional fighters that just kind of wanted a different sort of a training atmosphere. We didn't want to have the soccer moms doing their Taekwondo classes and that kind of stuff. We wanted to have a gym where, more of an old school feeling. You came in and there was old fight posters on the wall, and it's a little bit grittier, and it's a proper fight gym, and we feel like that's something that's really been kind of missing in our city. There's a lot of health clubs with a couple of bags up. There's a lot of like very, very, very good gyms here. I would consider Calgary kind of one of the main centers for fighting here in Canada. But we wanted a very specific feel to how we train people here. And so we were like, fine, we can't find it somewhere else, so we'll build it ourselves.
And that kind of speaks to the rise in popularity and how it's become mainstream, which is combat in general. So you do see heavy bags and maybe some kickboxing classes and things like that at big name gyms that have nothing to do with combat.
We're seeing a rise of different sorts of health, like fitness places and health club places that have their boxing fit classes.
Yeah.
And I see these little pop-up gyms with their boxing-based fitness or whatever, and those are great, and it brings awareness to our sport, and hopefully it brings some people who maybe wouldn't be exposed to fighting and give them a little bit more respect for what we do.
Yeah.
So,
well, make no mistake, there's a totally different, not just vibe, but smell when you go to a real combat gym or a franchise gym.
It should smell like sweat, bleach, and a little bit of stale blood.
Yeah, that irony smell.
It should smell like corn chips when you walk in.
There you go. That's the old hockey glove smell.
Corn chips and Thai oil.
Man, that was my hockey bag right there. That was my hockey bag, Anthony. Man, you just described it perfect. Now listen, you have an incredible record. You're 33-10 with 24 KOs in Muay Thai. I believe you're 25-8 in kickboxing. So you're a combined record of 58-18 with 24 KOs. That is a hell of an achievement at your age, huh?
Well, I stay very, very, very busy. And I like to fight a lot. I try to go to Thailand a lot. It's not uncommon for me to fight a couple of times in a week when I'm overseas. Like obviously in Thailand, they try and keep you from fighting, they try and keep it at least 2 or 3 weeks in between fights. on a legal manner
Right.
in Thailand, but you can go fight in little festival fights and stuff like that. And I try and stay as busy as I possibly can to be to get the most experience I can. A good way to put it is if I'm not hurt, there's no reason not to go make some money, right?
That's true. I mean, fighters fight.
Exactly.
That's what they do, and that's what you do. But listen, there's usually a theme that comes along with fighters. I hear a lot of times maybe they were bullied as kids, or maybe there was a reason. And a lot of times it's just that they're such a high-level athlete in another sport, and they love competition. So the ultimate competition is you going against someone else in a ring or a cage. I mean, that's it. Your story's a little bit different. What was it for you? I mean, were you bullied as a kid? Because there's something about you that people don't know, and that is you're a professional ballet dancer for close to 6 years or 6 years, I believe. And that right there is an elite athlete.
Yeah, I don't know if I say I was really bullied as a kid. Like, obviously, like, my friends and people around me in my community didn't understand why I liked what I liked.
Yeah.
Because it's obviously not something that most boys grow up wanting to do. But I wanted having the opportunity to go to a professional school and get proper training, and then I was able to dance professionally for a number of years, and that's actually how I found Muay Thai. Is I started doing Muay Thai as cross training to become a little bit stronger for dance.
Now, what sports did you play growing up, though, Anthony? Because I just can't see it. It's amazing to me that you were such an athlete to be able to become a professional ballet dancer, which to me, that's about as high of level athlete as you can get.
To be honest with you, one of the reasons why I was able to be successful at that wasn't because I was a natural athlete. In fact, almost the complete opposite. I'm sure my ballet teachers, when I first started, hated my guts. I'm certain of it. Just like I'm certain my first couple of coaches with Muay Thai probably hated me as well. I'm just obsessive compulsive. Okay, so when I decide that I'm going to do something, I'll die before I stop.
That is actually the mindset of a champion.
And it was like that for ballet too. I literally would practice for hours and hours and hours. They would kick me out of the studio at night. I used to go home and watch videos. Like, that was right around when YouTube first came out, and I would go home and I'd watch videos and videos and videos, and I would learn like different variations. Like, so like a solo in ballet is called a variation. So I'd go home, learn all these things, and I'd come back and I'd practice them, and I'd build myself up. And I spent a lot of time learning a lot about musical theory. I actually play a number of instruments as well. I spend a lot of time learning how to fence. A lot of people don't realize if you're going to be a male dancer, you got to learn how to do fencing as well, because there's lots of sword play in ballet. So really, it was more of I was willing to put in the work, which is something that a lot of people maybe have a hard time with. Even when it comes to fighting, it's not always necessarily about how talented you are or things like that. So a lot of times it's more about how hard you work, how much you want it.
Oh, definitely. I mean, heart and mental strength you have to have both to succeed. For me, I look at it and I wonder, because you have to be an extremely competitive person first to want to fight, is without a background in it, and coming from professional ballet. So you got in, you started doing some kickboxing classes, probably to stay, in shape or limber or something like that. What was it that switched and all of a sudden you decided, hey, I think I'm going to fight?
Well, actually, here's a funny story. I don't know if it's funny, but it's funny now. It wasn't funny at the time. So what wound up happening was, like a lot of art and a lot of fighting even, what happened was the ballet company that I was working for in New York City ran out of money, and I got fired. I got laid off. Yeah. And I had been training at this gym, and the guy that owned the gym was, we just hit it off really well, and he said, well, hey, I need a guy to work the front desk. and to work for me. And I said, well, I need a job. And he was like, well, perfect. And I literally was on stage, and then on 2 days later, I worked full time at a gym. And I took as much as I possibly could. I made my decision at that point that I was going to be stopping. I was stopping dance. I was retiring because that had been my 5th company in 3 years working for, and it just obviously wasn't going anywhere for me other than the fact that I was pro and it was great and I got a chance to see a lot of stuff. I obviously wasn't progressing past where I was.
Right.
So yeah, I wanted working at this gym and training, and about 3 months into me working at this place, they were like, well, hey man, we got one of our guys is fighting on this card, and they're paying for 2 of us to go corner, but they have an extra fight. Would you like to fight? And I asked him, I was like, are you sure I'm ready? He's like, well, we'll find out. And he literally just threw me in head first, and I had no clue what I was about to get myself into. And in fact, the state that I was fighting in at the time did not have amateur MMA or amateur Thai boxing. So if you were to fight, it was automatically going to be pro. And I didn't actually understand what that meant at the time because I didn't know what an amateur was and what a professional was. And I didn't understand that there was a progression, right? And I didn't understand that there were certain things you were supposed to do and there was a right way and a wrong way. I was just like, yeah, I'll fight, whatever. I'll punch him in the face. I'll probably win the thing. And I showed up, and I swung like a drunken sailor. It was absolutely ridiculous. Like, looking back at it now, it was like, it's almost embarrassing. It was absolutely horrible. One of the worst performances I've ever had. And I connected just out of pure luck and balls, and I just happened to knock the guy out. And I knocked him out mostly because he was going like this. You know, like guy. I actually met him years later, and he was actually very good. He was just so thrown off by how bad I was that he didn't know how to handle it, and I just happened to connect. And I actually fought again right after that and won the same way. So I had 2 knockouts in a row, and I was like, yeah, this is for me. I'm going to be the next Muhammad Ali. Well, my 3rd professional fight, I fought a guy from Canada too, in New York City on a show called Friday Night Fights, and I fought a guy named Sasha Haruzashi, who's now teaches in Ottawa. And dude, he beat the shit out of me. Like, this, just wanted to crack in a couple of my ribs, bruised my kidneys. I pissed blood for like a week and a half. Just gave me a rude awakening to what real Muay Thai was. And from there, it was a lot of the same, a lot of learning. Yeah. I don't like to say I won or I lost. I like to say I won or I learned. Right. Did a lot of learning at the beginning.
Well, you know what? I mean, that for you to go in and have the wins that way, that does tend to give you that confidence that, you know, at the end of the day turns to be a little bit false when you get in there against somebody that's able to step back and then pick you up like you suffered that defeat. But to me, what's important is that's when you probably made your decision. This is what I'm going to do.
Yeah, you know what? I had a friend of mine who's also a kickboxer. He told me, he's like, you're too dumb to quit. Because we had a promoter one time who told me straight out that I should quit. He was like, you're not very good. Just no. Yeah. Just, no, stop, please. And I was like, I just kept going.
Well, that says so much about you, Anthony, because, I mean, had you watched at least Muay Thai on TV before you went to the gym and decided to have a fight, or was this literally something you had not seen?
I genuinely had no clue. My first teacher, I don't even think had a clue. He was like, oh, Muay Thai? It's just punches, kicks, elbows, and knees. That can't be that hard. Like, he actually had no clue. I don't think I had a real Muay Thai coach. I had one guy in the Bronx who's pretty good, but I think he was kind of more irritated by my presence than anything. Yeah. Which is funny. we're good friends, but yeah, I think at the beginning he was like, oh, just a funny kid from Canada. He's just wasting space in my gym. It wasn't until probably about 3 or 4 years into my professional career that I met my first Thai coach, and he's the one that kind of like built me into like somebody who could actually fight. And,
Well,
the guy, the champion that I eventually became.
Yeah, exactly. Multiple champion, and not just that. I mean, I was watching you break ball bats. I mean, and this always kills me because I've felt a leg kick. I understand that pain. I mean, I've been hit in the liver and dropped many, many times. I understand that pain. How is it that you're able to build up to the level that you're at now with ignoring the pain? I mean, that's the only thing I can say about it. I mean,
it's just straight up, it's choice, right? It's a choice. It's a little when people are like, oh, it won't hurt anymore. Like, oh, check kicks and like, just don't worry, it's not going to hurt anymore.
Yeah.
No, it always hurts. It hurts every single time. I've had 79 professional fights. It hurts every single time I check kicks. The difference is over time you stop caring that it hurts. The pain becomes normal and you stop caring. For me, kicking the baseball bat, like, it's only wood. It doesn't. I mean, to me, it just seems silly, right? I'm like, well, I know I can break a person, so why is wood so special?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, you've got to commit 100% to do it. If you pull up a little bit short, it's going to hurt you. You've got to go through it, and that's that mental commitment and strength right there that is so a key to success in becoming a multiple champion, and in different weight divisions, and the ability to cut weight and to do what it takes to make that fight, to fight. And, what do you have coming up with your Muay Thai?
We're trying to set some stuff up now. We had a couple of things fall through for us here in January and February, so we're trying to fill those spots at the moment. It's looking like I'm possibly fighting in Vienna, Austria on March 25th.
Wow.
It's looking like I might be fighting in a Grand Prix event in Bolivia on April 7th. And then I think I'm fighting in an 8-man tournament in the Czech Republic in June. So that's kind of what's coming up. I'm hoping to find some stuff. I like to fight once a month, once every 6 weeks. I don't like having big breaks.
Right.
Unfortunately, I actually just fought not that long ago, and we were supposed to fight right afterwards, and the whole promotion actually fell apart. And I don't like having larger breaks because I feel like it makes it messes with your timing. Once you kind of get a flow, you should stick with it and keep going. I don't like having too much time in between.
Well, I mean, one of the things that amazes me is the fighters that I run into that are like yourself, that are so committed and so dedicated. They have the ability to find time to give back always. And this is something that I respect the hell out of you for this, because this is the future of the sport and it is changing lives. And that's what you do at the gym when you're teaching, and you don't turn kids away. When they show up to the gym, if they don't have the money, you still take the time to teach them and help them become young men.
Exactly. We find a way to make it work. We'll find sponsors. We'll find whatever we need to do to make things work. To me, there's no real reason to turn a kid away. Period. Yeah. I don't see my gym as I don't know. Like I don't run a McDojo. I run a fighter's facility, right?
Exactly.
I want to build tomorrow's champions today, right? And how I see that is having the next generation of people training alongside other professionals and helping them grow and helping them build. And I don't see that happening by bringing in the only kids that can come in are the kids who can afford to come in or whatever. If I have a kid with autism who nobody else will work with them, I don't care. I've got patience. I'll sit there and I'll let them I'll work with pads. I'll work on 1, 2, 3 combination with them all day long if I need to.
That's so impressive. That really is, Anthony. I know for yourself that it's just part of your life and part of the day, and it's what you do, and you're busy from the time you open your eyes until the time you close them. But you're giving back and you're changing lives. I mean, and nothing feels better for me than to find out that I did have an impact. What is it like for you when you get someone that comes in and they maybe are having troubles and problems, they've never trained, and watch them grow and progress?
Oh, it's amazing. I have a girl here who is actually prepping to pro debut here shortly, and she, working with her has been a lot of.
I can imagine.
But she's gotten to a point now where she's gone from being so she couldn't actually do a push-up when we first started. She couldn't do anything. Her first 6 months sparring, she couldn't get through a sparring session without crying. Couldn't do it. Wouldn't do it. We had a lot of issues with her. She was a fairly big girl, so we had a lot of issues in regards to teaching her how to eat and how to be healthy and how to train like an athlete,
right.
These sorts of things. And now she trains full time. This is what she does this is literally it. She quit her job. She trains full time. She works here at the gym. It's what she does. And it's absolutely amazing to see her progress, to go from being literally she couldn't do anything. It was horrible to watch. to now she's helping other people and she's building up the next generation, and she's helping me with the kids' classes, and she's helping me with the other fighters. She's going to be fighting for her. She was supposed to fight in Vietnam a month ago, but unfortunately that fight fell through. So she's actually going to be fighting in Vienna here at the end of March, and that'll be an absolutely awesome opportunity for her. And she's going to be there's going to be a lot for her. I can see her making it all the way to the top of the sport.
Yeah,
definitely. First year, maybe 2 years, she'll be champion.
I did hear that she does hit pretty hard, and that there's been a few guys been a little surprised sparring with her.
We have a professional heavyweight who she full on made him take a knee, and I have a couple of guys in here that are bouncers, professional bouncers, and she's dropped at least 3 of them.
Yeah.
And she's a little girl. She fights at 125 pounds. She looks like, if you saw a picture of her, you'd be like, she's 13, 100%.
Yeah.
She's a grown. She's an adult, but she doesn't look like much. And then you see her cracking things. Actually, there's a video on my Facebook of her snapping baseball bats.
Wow. That's
a 125-pound, 18-year-old girl snapping a baseball bat at a demo.
Yeah. Well,
we built that from the ground up.
To me, that is so impressive, the giving back, but then to watch what you've done and how you help and see someone else with that determination, similar to yourself, where she commits to it. I mean, because you're not going to fight unless you totally commit to it. That's all there is to it. And, it's always an honor for me, Anthony, when I get to speak with an athlete like yourself, and I learn every time. It inspires me to try to continue to help and make a difference and support the sport, because this is the future of the sport. And you might be training the next, champion of any combat sport. You never know. Man.
As far as I know, she could be the next Ronda Rousey, right?
That's right. That is right.
Spending a little bit of extra time with them, right?
That is right. Now, let me ask you, is there any sponsors or friends or, your coaching team where you train out of in Thailand? Anyone that you'd like to say hi to or give a shout out to?
Oh, I have a list.
Beautiful.
First people I'd like to make a shout out to our team Sitpolek in Pattaya, Thailand. So Frank Sitpolek, B, Leonard, these guys, these guys are all the guys that kind of inspire me now to be the best that I can be. Because if I don't have a good performance, I know I'm going to get a message from Frank, and he's going to be like, "The heck was that?" So love those guys. I'm lucky enough here to be able to have a sit pull at Canada, start shipping my guys from here to Thailand to train with them. We've actually just this last little bit, we've actually sent our first people over there to start the revolving door, trying to get people to go head off to Thailand and get proper training and come back. So that partnership's been absolutely amazing. My main gear sponsor is Weapon Fight Gear out of Vancouver. Did I say Vancouver? Kelowna? Is that where they are? I don't know. We do everything online now, so I don't even know where they are.
Yeah.
They're in Kelowna, BC, and they're another Canadian company, which is very important to me. And they've been great to me as of so far, and I look forward to continuing my relationship with them. I'm also sponsored by USANA Sports Supplements. They also sponsor the U.S. and Canadian Olympic teams, and they also sponsor Bradley and Pacquiao and those kind of guys as well. So it's been nice to be able to have top quality supplements and have my needs in that way taken care of. But it's one of those things where, unlike in MMA, it's very hard for Thai boxers to get the support and help that we need. So I'm very grateful to the few people that do help me.
Listen, this is something that I'm really passionate about, and that is giving the up-and-comers, or giving these people that are, that's my entertainment, right, Anthony? I sit back and I watch you, and I get, entertainment like I can't tell you. So I've got years. I mean, I'm pushing 49 years old. I remember back in 72 as a little kid watching Muhammad Ali. And so supporting and giving athletes the opportunity to be the best they can be is really important to me. So I think we'll be having a talk after the show as well. But, it's so important for people to hear the story of someone like yourself, Anthony, and it really does make a difference. And, again, you want to shout out to Glory Combat Sports?
Yeah, Glory Combat Sports Canada. It's Tuesday night, guys. Make sure you bring your gear.
Yeah.
Boxing Tuesdays. Get some shin to FaceTime going.
You don't want to be like me and show up and have to get the mouthpiece they have behind the counter and just stick it in there. And it's not the best way.
Yeah, no.
Well, I'll tell you, listen, Anthony, I'm going to be watching your career now as it progresses, and I'm going to be doing the best I can to bring Muay Thai to the fans of combat, because there's so many MMA fans that have not been exposed to Muay Thai.
Well, and especially there's so much happening right now within Canada and the U.S. in regards to our Muay Thai scenes.
Mm-hmm.
With the rise of Glory, the rise of Bellator kickboxing, there's Lions Fight.
Yep.
Based out of Vegas. They're starting to have fights in the East now too, so they're fighting out of, I think they're out of the Foxwoods. Maybe.
Yeah, casino.
But they're somewhere up in Connecticut.
Yep.
There's Friday Night Fights, which has been on for a bazillion years. There's a few other major shows that are starting to come up, and Muay Thai and kickboxing is definitely making a serious go, and I think we're going to start seeing some much larger publicized fights coming up here very shortly here in North America.
Oh, that's without a doubt. I mean, because all I would say to people is, if you love MMA or you love boxing, you're going to love Muay Thai, because it is nothing but striking. It is an elite striking. I mean, like I was saying before, the elbows are incredible that you guys are able to throw in there, and just from every aspect, there is no boring Muay Thai fight. I just haven't seen one.
No, I mean, it's one of those things where I love when people are like, oh man, I love MMA. I'm not huge on the ground. stuff. I don't like that so much, but I love it when I'm like, so you like Muay Thai is what I tell them.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, you don't like MMA at all. What you're telling me is you like Muay Thai, but they don't know because nobody's told them. Nobody's, they haven't been exposed to it, right? They don't understand what it is. And even some stuff like I'm going to use this as an example. Okay, I just fought in Wheeling, West Virginia for the ISKA North American title. Okay, obviously the first time any of these guys has ever seen Muay Thai. Okay, they had no idea what was going on, right? Because here's the thing, it's not just fighting, there's also cultural parts of Muay Thai as well, right? So the music comes on, the crowd's like, what the heck is going on? They see me come out in my monk on, and like, I'm doing my white crew, and they're like, what the heck is going on? Get to the fight. And, I think it's one of those things is like people aren't really educated about what it is yet. And, I think more and more people, especially now that there's YouTube and the internet and all this sort of stuff, are starting to be a little bit more exposed to it. I'm hoping shortly more and more people are watching.
Well, I know that they are, and there's a lot of tradition with Muay Thai, and it is, for fans that, let's say, just got into combat sports because of the UFC or something. They don't understand, and it's like, what is that guy doing in the ring? He's dancing around. What is he doing? And then they watch you guys fight, and they walk away every time saying, that was incredible. Those guys are killers.
Yeah.
Again,
I don't know anybody that goes to a top level Muay Thai fight and walks away disappointed.
No,
don't get me wrong. There's some low level. There's some boring fights, just like anywhere else. But you're not going to go to Lumpini Stadium in Bangkok and walk away disappointed. You're just not. You're just not.
The best strikers in the world, bar none, and people say, well, K1. Well, okay, kicking, punching. Muay Thai, every weapon that you have on your body is used to the highest degree of skill. I mean, a guy will go into a clinch, whip, throw a few elbows, back out, and this guy's got 12 cuts on his face. It's just shocking.
Oh yeah, and then they'll keep fighting through it.
Oh yeah.
My buddy B, Sipla, he just fought in Max Muay Thai this last weekend. Dude looks like somebody tried to hack his face up with an axe. He still fought. He had a cut here and here. I've yet to see a fight with that guy where he hasn't walked away with stitches. But they don't stop. It's amazing. You see these guys and half of their face is gone. And they're like, so what? I'll get some stitches. All is right with the world. I had a fight this last summer where you probably still see the scar here.
Yeah.
I beamed me in the head with an elbow and went to the corner and they wiped my head off and I went back out to try and fight. And every time my heart would beat, it would spurt out my head. And it's just, part of the fight.
It's a fight. It's going to be bloody sometimes. It's always going to be brutal. That's part of the sport. And at the level you're at, it's nothing but entertaining and amazing. Again, I love it. And I'm going to do my best to start promoting Muay Thai. We want to get it out there. I definitely want to touch base with you again, Anthony, and some people from the gym as well. I mean, I want to get the word out. I want everyone to understand. If you're not checking out Muay Thai, you're missing out. One time is all it takes. And then you become a fan of Muay Thai. I know I try not to miss any fights. It's an honor to have you on, Anthony. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, guys, you got to check out the Muay Thai fights. It really is incredible. Out there, now if you're in Calgary, Glory Combat Sports, you got to look them up. I'm going to put on Anthony's Twitter handle. I don't have that right off the top of my head, but it will be on here. So you guys look him up. Again, it was an honor for me, Anthony. And until the next time, for Modern Pugilist Entertainment, for Fight TV, I'm Dan Cox. That's Anthony Ford. Watch out for that man. He's a killer.